Despite what their moms told them, they just aren't talented enough for radio. Unfortunately, anyone can have a show these days. Sean.
Well, I'm pretty hard to figure out sometimes. In fact, I can't even figure myself out sometimes, so don't you try to.
Joe.
You're an idiot. And really a disloyal person.
This is the Cuse Militia. Now, those two unapologetically biased, orange-blooded homers, Sean and Joe.
It's the most bullshit thing I've seen in 30 years.
Welcome, orange men and ladies. Happy Tuesday. This is the Cuse Militia with Sean and Joe at Cuse Militia on the socials. Go there, join the militia. You're going to hear from us, and we're going to hear from you as we give our predictions. Syracuse at UConn. We'll turn to the socials for you once we give ours after the preview. But a couple things first to clean house with. First of all, the Spotify Live app. Okay, this is the app. You do not have to download this thing and get in the green room, what they call it, and request to speak. You can sit there. You can listen live. We are going to do for the preview show. We're going to do the picks on there, and for the recap show or the post game show, we are going to do the fan feedback. Okay, both of those involve all of you. We appreciate all of you for listening, and so it's a way to interact with us. You can, if you don't want to request to speak, that's fine. You can get in there like David did last episode and ask a question or give your comment, and I'll read them as they come through, or we'll discuss them. So it's a good way to interact. Just download the app, go to Apple, the iTunes store or the Google Play store, and download that thing. It's free. Sign up. Just need an email address and a username and a password. You can find us, obviously, at Cuse Militia, and join us there. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, so we had some technical issues on the last episode. What happened was, I always, so we start the show, and I've got on my mixer, I have to pick which channel I want to record. Well, I always just record the master channel, which is everything. Next to the master channel is the intro and the close only, and that comes out of one channel. So I picked that channel on accident. So the only thing that recorded through the whole show was the intro and the close. And so I had nothing else. And so about halfway through the coach montage in the last episode, I was like, oh crap, I don't have the backup going. So I started the backup. Thank God I started the backup when I did. So I had to go back through and redo the open and record the coach montage. And that's all I did. Obviously, that was all I did, because everything or most everything that Joe and I said after the show was included in the episode. So a little bonus content. And when I opened up, so I don't get notifications on Twitter, Joe. And when I opened up Twitter and I saw all the messages, I'm like, man, well, people love the show. People loved it. Give them what they want. Can't wait to go tonight. And I start reading them. I'm like, oh, crap. My heart dropped in my stomach. Okay? Because God only knows what we say after the show most of the time, right?
Yeah.
So I quick went to the episode after reading a few of these, some of them from last night, some from this morning, so I don't get notifications. So I was just checking it. And it was tame. I apologize for the F-bombs, but trust me, that was tame, okay? So, anyways, I mean, I could just only think out of that it was what it was. So anyway,
yeah.
But they kept coming. Hey, did you guys know? Yes, I did not know, but we know now. And it's going to stay there. So anyways, appreciate those of you who did try to give me the early heads up last night, but I was not paying attention to Twitter last night. So anyways, all right, let's get into football related things. First, before we talk about UConn, Joe, so the injuries, as everybody already knows now, as far as Stefan Thompson and Chris Elmore, are season ending. According to Coach, you could tell if you listen to his press conference, he was just any other day without that, he would be elated during that press conference.
Yeah.
He was very he just did not seem like he wanted to be there. There was no jokes. There was short, sweet answers. Most of it, he didn't elaborate on anything. If you know Coach and watch his press conferences, you could tell he didn't want to be there. So, not good. He was quoted as saying in the press conference, the biggest improvement for a football team is between the first game and the second game, okay? You got some injuries. You're finding out who you are. You're going on the road. All of these things, and it's kind of like the next man up type stuff. He did not say any one specific person was going to be playing. He did say, however, that basically, long story short, the cream's going to rise to the top, right? So, I think we talked about a little bit last episode about Maximilian Mang, right, and McDonald. So, those two you would think are in the running, and they're on the first team roster, are they not? Depth chart?
Yeah, first team depth chart that came out, yeah.
And there was so go ahead, Joe, elaborate on that.
No, I was just going to say Chris Elmore, honestly, like when I watched the replay of Chris Elmore, I thought that he was done, especially how I saw how he had to get off the field and go to the locker room that way. Stephon Thompson, I was hoping was going to be more of like a sprain, and maybe after 3 or 4 or 5 weeks and then a bye week or something, he'd be able to come back in the in the meat of the schedule. So I think they're both going to be big hits. Obviously, it goes toward our depth, but like we alluded to last podcast, it's a situation where I think that our depth looks a little bit deeper than normal, and Derek McDonald is definitely the guy that they're showing in the depth chart for UConn that's going to take the spot. But also, as we saw in last game, they're going to. We have depth to where they move guys in and out. So there's going to be a lot of guys that have a lot of opportunities because Stephon Thompson, he demanded a lot of reps. So those are a lot of plays on special teams and on defense that we're going to have to make up, and it's probably not just going to be made up between one player.
No, and he definitely kept fresh legs out there, as you mentioned in the last show, with rotating guys. So that sucks. It's a huge hit. It's one big hit on each side of the ball, and it's a situation where we hope to see him next year. And I guess that's, if you're looking at the bright side of things, you can have these guys back hopefully next year. There's nothing else really to say about it. It sucks. It's a huge hit, but it's the first game of the season. This didn't happen in the very middle of the season or towards the end of the season when you're trying to finish strong or anything like that. And it doesn't make it better, but I'm saying we've got this time. You got a couple easier games, right? We're going to go to UConn, and then we're going to play Purdue at home. And then,
this isn't easy.
No, it's just not easy. But then we got Virginia at home, and then Wagner.
It's just not easy. But yes, I understand what you're saying.
But then we got the break, right? So there's time to figure it out. Is all I'm saying. So, anyways,
it's just to say immediately, out for the season. It's just unfortunate.
Oh, it's a huge hit to say that, right? Like, I didn't expect both of them to be out the whole season.
No, me either. And as Syracuse fans, though, we've kind of become used to dealing with injuries, and I think that with this coaching staff and with the players on the team, I think that just week one, I feel like they've proven that they're going to be better at filling the spot of the guy that's gone, and also as far as the coaching wise standpoint, putting these players in better positions to be successful. So
we'll know a lot more after Purdue. I don't know how much Connecticut's going to show us, but we'll know a lot more, I think, after Purdue. And the other thing is that I remember when we were down to our fourth string running back, and we're like, oh, this is going to be great.
Sean Tucker.
And Sean Tucker comes out of nowhere. So there's that. It's the next man up mentality. These guys are chomping at the bit for the opportunity. They think they're good enough. They want to get in there. They're not worried about having to be in the big spotlight. They want it, and they're
yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, there was nothing that was gonna happen in spring or in the preseason that was gonna put any of these linebackers over
Stephon
Thompson, right?
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden you got guys that maybe they thought, I'm just gonna do my best, or who knows, maybe they didn't push themselves as much because you knew that you weren't going to be the starter. Well, now it's up for grabs. So, I mean, it's not too often that a spot like that just pops up, and someone's going to have to take it and run with it. So, Derek McDonald, he played a good enough game the first week to prove that he at least, or give him the chance to be the first man up and taking that spot now that we know what's going on. But that doesn't mean he's locked in there. He's going to have to fight, and if he makes mistakes, it's just a spot for somebody else. And to be perfectly honest with you, I mean, I think that as Syracuse fans, we were all thinking that Mikel Jones was going to be gone, and we really didn't know about the other linebackers, and hopefully he'll be back next year. But this is also much needed experience for these young guys which we're probably going to have to rely on next year.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see what happens. Wish him the best. I have confidence, especially McDonald, who he
I do
played
too,
well.
Just not overconfidence.
Not overconfidence, no. And like Coach always says, and I think he probably said it during the press conference. He doesn't
Most
want
likely.
these guys to be occasionally great but consistently good. So we all know what he's looking for, the consistency. Yep. So, anyways, all right. Hey, the all-time series between the Orange and the Huskies sits at 6-5 in favor of UConn. Syracuse is currently on a 3-game win streak between 2012 and 2018. It's kind of funny. The two teams first met in 2004 when UConn joined the Big East. Paul Pasqualoni was coach, and SU was SU's head coach, and they won that game 42-30. And then the last time the teams played in the Big East, Paul Pasqualoni was coaching UConn, and Doug Marrone was coaching the Orange, and Syracuse won that game as well. So the Huskies, they do have a new coach, and Jim Mora, and he's got quite the resume. Yeah, quite the resume in the NFL and stuff. So after a 1-11 season last year, they finished 129th out of 130 FBS teams in total offense and 123rd in total defense. So they currently sit at 1-1 so far this year with the loss to Utah State and the win this past Saturday over Central Connecticut. And they had a couple moves on their roster. I don't know what they mean, so I'm not even going to get into that. If Joe knows anything about it, I'll leave that up to him. But we talked about the game against Utah State where they did go up by a quick 14 at the beginning of that game and ended up blowing it. The other thing is they do have a freshman, a true freshman QB, right, Joe? He's a true freshman.
Yeah.
Zion Turner, who was not predicted to be in that spot, but not doing a terrible job thus far. And then Nathan Carter, who's their bell cow running back, and he's a sophomore. He's out of Rochester, New York. So thought that was interesting. What else can you tell us, Joe? Kind of like, so whenever I do this, just so everybody knows, like I go to the biggest blog and then I search UConn Football 247, UConn Football SB Nation. Okay, those are the two I do. And you usually get something, but dude, they are either behind on their bloggers. I know the labor market's tough, but damn, they have nothing leading into this game so far, even after their coach's press conference, Joe. So what did you finagle for the fellas and ladies listening?
Yeah. I mean, so when it comes to the players, like you said, Zion Turner, a true freshman, wasn't even supposed to be the starter. Taquan Roberson was four-star running back that transferred from Penn State, got hurt the first game against Utah State. And, yeah, they have kind of struggled ever since he kind of was out. I think that they had some things that were working against Utah State, and once Utah State figured them out and made them do what they're not good at doing, then they kind of, caught up and ran away with it a little bit. And then Utah State lost to Alabama 55-0 this past week. So just to give you kind of but looking at it, the one thing I did see, looking at Central Connecticut State, one thing that stood out with basically both of the first two games is that UConn had 3 turnovers in both games. Against Utah State, they had 2 fumbles and an interception. And against Central Connecticut State, they had 2 interceptions and a fumble. So they're averaging, obviously, 3 turnovers a game. But after this past week, when we had 3 turnovers against Louisville, that's one thing to look for sure. But also, like you said, Nathan Carter, man. I mean, this guy's got 313 yards on 43 carries, albeit just 1 touchdown. But it's a 7.3 average. And you watch him, and he's got speed, he's got elusiveness. He is a sophomore; it's his second year, but I mean, you gotta make them pass, man. I mean, that's just what you got to do. That's what Central Connecticut State tried to do, and they got some turnovers over it. And Sion Turner doesn't seem to be a dual threat quarterback. Looks like he's only got 12 carries for 28 yards, so it's not like he's a dual threat type guy. And I believe that their leading receiver has 89 yards. So they don't have a lot of passing yards in the season. And looking back at the Utah State game, because I mean that's the only comparable team that we can really look at as far as Syracuse goes. I mean they gave up like 540 something yards against them. I think it was 280 through the air, 260 through the ground. I just see this as a game where we just have too much. I think that we could keep it simple, keep it basic, run the same kind of stuff we ran against Louisville, and I still think that it would work. And as far as on defense, you got to make them pass. You got to blitz. You got to spy Nathan Carter, make sure that running back, because unlike Malik Cunningham, I mean that guy's a dual threat quarterback. And
so is Garrett Schrader.
Yes, he is. You're absolutely right. But what I'm saying is he had 13 carries for 34 yards, right? So if a dual threat quarterback that's what his stat line is against us, then I only see a little bit more. Like, I'm not going to lie. I see them keep putting Deuce and Garrett on an island, bringing people up. I mean, they might start a little vanilla to see how good this running back and this offensive line really is and what they can do. But I just don't see this team having a personnel. I mean, I know they got some transfers coming in, and Jim Moore Jr. is a big name. He's coached, I think, head coach of UCLA. He's coached in the NFL.
Yeah,
and
he went to UCLA and then went to the NFL for a little bit, right? Or was it the other way around?
It was one of the two.
I think he went to the NFL and then went to UCLA.
Right, but he has a bunch of experience, and I mean, I don't know, maybe he can turn this thing around, but with that initial, injury to Taquan Roberson, which probably would have changed the season for all intents and purposes, like it's a situation where right now where we're playing them, I mean, they're really one-dimensional. They're really one-dimensional, and I really don't think that their defense has got enough to change or to challenge what we have, to what you spoke of last podcast when you talk about Tucker can run, Schrader can run, Schrader can pass. It's just we have so many ways. Yeah. We have so many ways to beat you, and I mean, I look at us as a better team than Utah State, and I mean, you saw what they did, and if they actually had all their crap together from the beginning, they probably would have ran away with it by more than what they did at 31-20. So, yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot of players' names to throw out there. There's not a lot other than Nathan Carter. And, obviously you want to always talk about the quarterback. But I just don't see this team as somebody who's a team that's got personnel. And to be perfectly honest with you, I don't really see the fan base. I don't see a situation where UConn is filling up the stadium and they're going to have a 12th man to where it affects our offense and our play. So, I mean, anything can happen. It is football, but that's really where I'm at right now. We stop the run, then we'll be okay. Minus if we just completely crap the bed and makes way, way, way too many mistakes.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. When I first watched UConn take their first snaps of the season, and I was thinking, oh man, they kind of look decent. But
with Taquan,
yeah. But I don't really know what they can do other than, like you said, run Carter. And let's be honest, I mean, he seems like a really good running back.
He does, and he's from Rochester, so yeah. I'm kind of wondering what WCF.
Yeah, like what happened? Exactly. I thought the same thing when I looked it up.
How did we let him skip over Syracuse and get all the way to UConn from Rochester, right?
I don't know, but expect, he's got a long at 52 so far this year. I mean, expect something out of Carter. I don't think he just gets bottled up like the way we were able to do to Malik Cunningham. Malik Cunningham was rattled. I mean, the fans did that. But here's the other thing, though. They had more time to prepare for Malik Cunningham. I mean, they prepared for Malik Cunningham for weeks. I mean,
let's be honest. Running back compared to a quarterback.
I understand, exactly. That's kind of my point.
And their quarterback doesn't run.
Well, okay. So, yeah,
and I really don't see these receivers having the same type of talent as the receivers at Louisville. And I think we got corners that can just lock them up. So even if, Carter does break a couple, which, Tyon Evans, he broke a touchdown, a long touchdown. So it can happen. He did it against our first team before Stephon Thompson even got hurt. It can happen. You can break it. He's fast. He's elusive. It's not like he's a trash running back. It's just, you don't really have the players around him right now to really be able to, compete and dominate a game like this, in my opinion. But, I just don't see a situation where Mikel Jones lets that happen.
Okay.
The way, that's just my personal opinion. I just don't see enough on the board, and I'm just saying that based upon, obviously, and it's not an overreaction.
I don't either.
I really don't think that the UConn is really that good of a team, and I think they needed that quarterback. Like UConn was in a situation like we were, post Greg Robinson era, where we just could not let a quarterback get hurt, and here we go. So They're on the up and up. They're in a rebuild, but I just don't see them challenging us unless
not year one.
Again, like I said, you can make mistakes and you can come in lackadaisical, and a team can jump on you. So that can happen, but I just don't see this coaching staff letting this team. I just think this team's way too determined. I think they knew they were better than what they were last year, and they're just out here, just can't wait and chomp at the bit to just prove everybody wrong.
All right, well, you know what time it is, so we shall revisit last week's game, where I had 31-28. I thought it was going to be a high-scoring game. Turned out only Syracuse scored kind of high. So, Joe, you had 34-28. So just off by 3, buddy. Just off by 3. So I'll take that. 1-0. Me.
Dude, I didn't.
Huh?
Good on both of us of getting close to where Cuse
was going to score
as far as the amount of points, but nobody I think saw the 7 coming. So
no, absolutely not. And I think if I 31, and Syracuse scored 31. So yeah, I got it. I got Syracuse score exactly. That's pretty good. So
pat yourself on the back, Sean. Come on.
This one's a little harder though, even though we both kind of had the similar deal. We were going for the same type of thing. I feel like this one's a little bit more difficult because at what point do you start swapping players out? What's going to happen, right? So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm going to say I think Syracuse goes on the road. They handle business. I'm pretty confident about it. I think they need this. Just starting 2-0 would be great. I don't care who it's against, especially if you got at least one road game in there. So I'm gonna say 45-17, and there's a garbage time touchdown in there somewhere for UConn, and that's the only reason they get to 17 is because of some garbage. So
okay.
I didn't want to go, dude. I wanted to go 50. I had it crossed. I crossed it out. I had 51-17, but I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna.
That's close to my score.
Okay. All right.
That's close to my score. I don't see a way they don't go 2-0. You don't just beat Louisville like that and then just mess your whole season up by going into UConn and losing.
Exactly.
So I don't see an offense that can deal with this defense. And honestly, barring a crazy injury, I don't see this defense stopping the things that our offense can do. So I hate doing this. I hate it. Because something like this happens and then we end up losing an ugly game 21-10, right? But I'm going 52-14, and it's just what I'm feeling. I just don't see this defense stopping us. Unless we stop ourselves, I can't imagine us coming out and having the drops and the pre-snap penalties that we had. So I only see an offense going against a lesser defense and cleaning up the things that they did to score more. So
okay.
I know it's a big number, but
no, that's fine. I agree. My thing is when does our offense slow down because personnel changes? That's all. I just factored.
Thing is I don't know if it does.
I mean, you're possibly right. I mean, you could be possibly right. I mean, they might not change it.
There's guys right underneath them that are waiting. The Umari Hatchers, the Quint Allens, the Jawan Prices, the Carlos Del Rio Wilsons, and there's linemen that we know were this close to being right there. I mean, there's guys still in the second part of, number twos in the depth chart on the offensive line that our coaching staff was comfortable switching out in. And we were playing twos and threes on defense. So, I mean, honestly, I don't know if there's much of a difference. You think we see Carlos Del Rio Wilson?
I think it's totally possible. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I think there's a chance he could play the whole fourth quarter.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah. I mean, that would be all. I mean, if we're in that type of situation, that'd be glorious. You know?
Well, I'm sure there's the fans that want to pad people's stats and stuff like that, because this is a Pat Stadden type of stat padding.
Yeah. What did you say? Yeah, I got you. I heard it correctly, by the way, Joe.
Pad statting.
I heard it correctly. Well, look, Quint Allen too. I mean, you kind of see what this kid can do. I mean, if we get in a situation where Carlos Del Rio comes in for the whole fourth quarter, I expect to see him too get some burn in that, and that could be fun to watch too.
Some younger receivers, absolutely.
Yeah. So, all right. So those are our picks.
They'll probably still score.
And well, yeah. I mean, I think so. So I'll go to Twitter first. Come on, this damn thing. Hold on. All right, here we go. I gotta leave this thing plugged in. All right. Our boy at Oil Cuse on the Twitter. If you remember, I'm just now reading these. If you remember the last episode, our buddy Captain Patrick, he put a score, but he didn't pick the winner. So this time he made it clear. 44-10. It's obvious who I'm picking, Sean. Okay. UConn? I have no idea. I'm just playing.
UConn, it's obvious.
44-10 Cuse for our buddy Captain Patrick. He drinks a lot of the bourbon, so I don't know. Maybe it was a late night for him last time. Who knows? At If Not Now When 84, our buddy Michael, 56-3 Cuse, not even close, and I bet the defense gets at least one TD. That's something I didn't factor into my score. I like that. Let's see. Let's just call her Lynn. I don't know. Bebueno? Orange Bebueno? Cuse 40. UConn 17. Okay. At Semi-Average Rigs, 62-6. They actually have a below half decent squad this year. I think talking about UConn. This one kills me. Jeff, what's this handle here? At Jeff Abramo. Too early for an official score to pick for me, but leaning towards picking a win. Jeff, dude, come on. I put this up last night. If you guys don't know, usually do the Pick'em show on Tuesdays, right, Joe? Tuesdays and Sundays. Post-game, pre-game. Correct?
Look, if you got a tough time with this game, I don't know what you're going to do with the rest of the season.
Right?
Throwing that out there.
Let's just call him Charlie. 42-14 Syracuse. Robert on Twitter, 69-3 Cuse. At Michael R38, 49-13 Syracuse. If Cuse contains running back Carter, then it will be a massive blowout at, let's see, the cursed Cursola. Okay. These Twitter handles get me every time.
No, it's fun.
I don't know about this one. And I said I wasn't do the ones full of hyperbole, but Matt is in the green room. So we'll talk about his. At Matt _Sherman 52, 444 to nothing. I'm assuming that's Syracuse. Our buddy Cuse Waterboy 45-13 Syracuse. At Knack 351 Cuse 31 UConn 13. Our buddy Noah 1,427-0. Okay.
Jeez,
that's a high score. At Ash Thompson, 457, 33-17. Okay. Got another 44-0 by Tyler J. Okay. And let's see. Zach on Twitter, 36-20. See how this. I'm really looking for ones that are close to ours. That's why I'm searching.
Yeah, but those are close because I feel like these games are like. I feel like there's a threshold, right? Because it's very hard for me to be like, okay, if it's a close game, we don't take out our starters. Is UConn really going to score more than Louisville? Considering they gave up 3 turnovers to damn Central Connecticut State, like they're going to turn the ball over. There's going to be big plays. I don't see them stopping our offense. Only way that they score more than what Louisville did is if we're over 40 and we pull the starters. I mean, I don't know. That's just me. That's me.
That's kind of how I factored it in. I think there's some garbage time points by UConn. I think by the time
that's the only way they score more than what Louisville did, in my opinion.
I think you're right. Okay, let's go to Facebook real quick. Phil, 34-3. Mary, 31-13. Syracuse. Both of those were Cuse wins. Jim, 42-12. Cuse wins. I kind of like the 42-12. That's a
good one.
Yeah, it's reasonable. Not letting them in the end zone, sounds like. You're there. They missed 2 extra points. Alex, that's possible too. Alex, going to take Cuse 35 and UConn 24. I'd like to hear the reasoning behind that one. That's your brother, by the way. David.
Yeah, I know.
David, Orange 31, Huskies 10. Jimbo, 2-0, Cuse in overtime. Okay. A couple more here. Jason Butler, 45-13, and Thomas 38-13. Both of those Syracuse. Okay, a lot of those are really close to what we had for the most part. Especially Jason 45-13. I had 45-17. Okay, all right.
52-14.
And yeah, you had 52-14. So, yeah, it's good. I think a lot more optimism after week 1, as should be expected, right? And, getting a road game in the Purdue game, I'm hoping, this will bring even a little bit more momentum into the Dome. I think the crowd made such a difference against Louisville.
Some of those scores is interesting, though, isn't it?
Yeah, your brothers interest me the most. 35-24.
You're absolutely right. I almost feel like I have to have a conversation with him, but I just to see where he's coming from, because
right. That's why I said I wanted him to explain it. Yeah,
some of this stuff is almost apprehension. Almost everybody came into the season looking at UConn as a win and looking at Wagner as a win. So you come in and there's probably a lot of people that didn't think we were going to beat Louisville week 1 and probably looked at it as a must win if we wanted to get a bowl game. But we come in and we play that type of game. And after that, we already thought that we were going to beat UConn, but then they beat Louisville like that. And you still thinking 35-24? It doesn't register with me.
Or 31-13, Mary, 31-10, Dave.
I can still, if we just have an off day or maybe it's raining and it's windy, I don't know. But
it is in Connecticut.
Yeah. It is, and it is in Connecticut, but I just still don't see a situation where look at all the penalties, look at all of the missed catches, drops, but yet I don't think we had a 3-and-out like we talked about.
Dominic 51-3. That's another high one.
That's a good one, yeah. But we lived on the brink of 3-and-outs the past couple of years, right?
Orange
to not have a 3-and-out against that type of opponent.
Yeah.
Even after all the pre-snap drop, or pre-snap penalties, really, and all the drops, and we still overcame that to not have a 3-and-out, and we still probably should have scored way more points than what we did. We could have anyway, but we kind of shot ourselves in the foot. To think that we're going to do that against a UConn defense and then let a UConn offense that's not as good as Louisville by any means come in there and score more than, don't get me wrong. Like you said, it was all off season. We're up for this. This team's been waiting to play against Louisville at the Dome and to get that whole thing.
You don't get any more prepared for a team than that one.
Right. Understandable. But UConn doesn't give you a full week's worth of
you run out of stuff prepping. You run out of stuff prepping for a UConn. What do you do?
There's only so much you can do because they only have so so many weapons.
That's why, and I think I said it. I know I said it to you, and I don't know if I said it on the show or if I said it to you in passing. But like, that's why I loved Louisville as the first game of the season, because they needed time to prepare for that. You know, it's going to be
their defense can line up just like they're playing against Louisville and be perfectly fine with UConn.
Oh, exactly, perfectly fine, absolutely. I believe that. That's a good point. All right, here we go. Dominic's in the green room. Dominic, maybe he wants to explain his prediction. Let's see what Dominic has to say. Yeah, I think we're going to take a break. We're going to take a break. We're all going to get stretched out and prepared. And
I want to cramp up.
We'll give Dominic Dominic, you got 3 minutes. All right. You there? Hello.
This stupid app. How you guys doing?
Good.
What's up, Dom?
Hey, I'm good. All right, I'll be quick. They're going to score at least 31 points, and the spread's 20. So I just added them together. That's really how I got it. I know that sounds really stupid, but I can't imagine not putting 50 up against them.
Yep.
I listened to the guy on Axe's show today that does the radio for UConn, and he's saying, "Oh, our D line so-so. Oh, our secondary so-so. Our strength as a linebackers may have an NFL player there." So. After what I saw against Louisville, yeah, we're going to score against them. And then you hear the guys on the ACC network talk about the 3-3-5. Even the coach, the guy that was at Miami and Georgia, I forget his name. He's like, I hate defending. I hate planning my offense against that defense. Mark Richt. And so you have a freshman quarterback at UConn, right, who was the backup, and now trying to go up against, probably has never seen anything like that with the speed and the swarming before. I don't care if they have the nation's leading rusher right now, that doesn't really matter right now. They're probably. I would be surprised if they scored 3 points, but it's still college football. They may. You never know. So I saw some of those scores on your pages, guys. People are just pessimistic. Have fun.
I think, like Joe said, it's a little apprehension. You know, Jim 42-12. I mean, some of them are a little closer than I think, but who the hell knows? Dave 41-10. Because there's a lot of them that are really close to what we have, Joe, and what you have, Dominic.
But there's also been situations in the past where they have one good game, and then there's kind of getting overconfident, and people have got bit. So I think that really with Dino, it's just been kind of hard to trust after one game. So there's some fans that are apprehensive and they want to see it more than one game.
And like Coach said, the biggest improvement for a football team is between the first and second game.
Right. Well, UConn had their second game. And I mean, I don't know how many of your listeners are in Syracuse. So I'm assuming that the afternoon drive, they're probably listening to Axe. And the guy, from Connecticut was like, yeah, don't let that score fool you. We didn't play that well. You know what I mean? And so it's just, usually our first game is against a UConn. And so I think that's why people are a little apprehensive. This was Louisville. This was, even if you want to say middle ground ACC team, that our defense just dismantled and let our offense hang around with a lead long enough to where they'd exploit how well our defense really was. So I can't see at least our defense even scoring at 7 points on their own. So I don't know, but yep, that's it, guys.
Wow. Very Dominic. I like this.
There.
Short, sweet, to the point. You're clear. Yeah. I can hear you. You're audible. There's no vehicles running in the background.
No, I'm home from work. I'm in my bedroom, ready for my day off tomorrow. This is great.
Nice, fantastic. Yeah. Well,
no, dude, and that point's not hard to. The point's not hard to drive home. It's just I think there's just a lot more fans than just us that need to see it over that. But there's probably a lot of fans in the middle there that just really don't know UConn and how good or bad they are, right? So
Yeah, well, do your homework. I mean, it's not that hard, and I'm not disparaging your listeners. I'm really not, but
sounds like it.
Well, don't be low information voter here.
Hey, man, look, if you've learned anything the past couple of years, people don't do their own research; they listen to other people.
No. And you know what?
Speaking of which, did you hear Sam Hartman?
I find myself doing more and more because you guys are living my dream. This is what I want. I want to start getting into the podcast world. So I've been doing more homework and listening more and reading more stuff. So that could be why I'm talking less.
If you ever,
my brain is really full.
Oh, well, okay. All right. Well, good. That's good to get perspective. One thing you don't want to do it took us 375 episodes to do it, but don't leave audio in that's not supposed to be there. Okay. That's a big no-no.
I was listening to that. I was delivering mail on my route, listening to it yesterday. And I worked the holiday, and I'm listening to it, and I'm delivering a package, and I'm almost f-bombing the movie theater because they're closed, and I got an Amazon package for them, right? And I was like, "Hey, Sean's doing it for me."
That was when I realized I lost my recording. I thought there's no feeling worse than feeling like you just did an hour show, a genuine hour show full of nice little morsels, and you had a good time doing it, and then you think the audio's gone. Joe and I, when we first started doing this, Joe and I actually recorded a show, thought we didn't record the show. It was like a 45-minute show. I said, Joe, I got bad news, bro. That did not record. Do you have time to do it again? And he's like, I guess we have a choice. I'm like, not really. So we sat down and we did the whole show again. Those things happen.
Yeah. Well, we are in our infant stages. So when we're ready to do like a pilot, I'm gonna talk to you guys and get your recommendations just on gear, microphones, if you need fancy headphones or anything. And
depends on if you want to sound professional or if you don't.
Dude, you guys are great. Let me tell you something. You guys, and where I grew up, I could have swam to New York City from where I grew up in Jersey. You guys put on just a professional show.
Oh, good for you.
Hey, I'm trying to give you guys a compliment. You're making fun of me.
Hey, that's him, man. I don't have the radio, so.
I felt like, okay, never mind. So you guys put on.
Sorry, Dominic.
You guys, when I first started listening to you guys, I thought you guys went to Syracuse. I thought you guys were part of the communications program.
Stop it.
I really did. No, I'm serious. Totally dead serious.
There was a couple of people back in the day that thought we did this. This was our job.
Yes.
So, yes. Those are huge compliments. We appreciate it. If you ever want tips on equipment, I will tell you what I got. And you know what? You could get pretty much everything that I have for probably less than $600. I mean,
if you have any questions about generators, then I'm your guy too, because that's actually my job.
There you go. My daughter, I was talking to my daughter about it, and she's 16, and she goes, Dad, we have apples. We have everything we need. Okay. It was very fun.
That's true. There's probably something you can do through that. But well, good luck, Dom. If you ever need anything, you have any questions, let us know. As always, we love you. You're one of the
my reporter on the street video, my customer.
I didn't see it. No, I did not.
Dude, after the ECU game, this dude was in rare form in his garage.
Oh, okay. All right. What is it on?
I think I sent it to your Facebook Messenger.
Okay. Well,
he had a very large adult beverage in his hand, and I asked him if he went to the game, and he gave me a little synopsis.
Oh, okay.
And he had the lean on the back of his truck.
You said he was an ECU fan?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I live in Greenville, so it was a dreary, rainy day. It was awful here, and I you know what? I don't feel bad for the ECU fans after what they did on the socials to that kicker. It went to the point where a local restaurateur that I know here, he owns a Dominican restaurant. He owns maybe another. I know he owns the Dominican restaurant. He went on all his socials and was like, dude, this guy has parents, and showed where his parents were like parts of like pirate groups on Facebook and Twitter, like just watching people like death threats to their kid.
That's pathetic. That's totally unacceptable. The broadcaster said something at the end of that game. just a note to the fans, something along the lines of a note to the fans. Just remember, this kid is a student athlete, and he's,
Well, part of the
basically
issue,
like don't do that.
Part of the issue here, and I'm going to be honest, I don't mind a nice frothy adult beverage every once in a while. It was a noon game, and they opened the lots at 7 instead of 9, and they let open container drinking on the street at 7 in the morning.
Well, I mean,
So
if you
I think
can't
that has
control
something to do
yourself,
with it.
then people tailgate all day for the SU game or in multiple
Dude.
games. That's not a great example, but that happens all the time. If you can't control yourself,
No,
then you shouldn't go.
They can't control. Google the Halloween parties that ECU has. It is nuts here at Halloween. To the point where, like, Dale Earnhardt came here one year and left early, and he said in some interview, he goes, "Yeah, those are professionals. I'm not redneck enough for them." Seriously, it's not
funny.
good. Yeah. All right, guys, you have a good night.
All right, Dom. Thanks, man.
Hey,
Appreciate
you
you,
too, Dom.
buddy. Take care.
You got it.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Let's see what we got here real quick. Let's bring our boy at If Not Now When 84.
Michael.
Are you there, Mike?
Come on, dude. You can use my full name.
I just found out that was you. So I was super excited when I found that out. Although I was like, that's one less person that listened to the podcast because I thought they were two separate people. But that's fine. That's fine.
So you got two separate people. You're like, I got two people that listen to me.
It really made sense because, I mean, obviously you knew that we used you in fan feedback quite a bit, and I never put it together. So, anyways, what's up? Did you give us a prediction?
I did, actually. I did.
Did I mention it?
53-3, dude.
Okay, 53-3. All right.
We're literally just going to blow them out. I have no doubt.
Okay.
Even with the injuries, honestly, Stefan Thompson's probably a little bit more detrimental to the team than Elmore, to be perfectly honest.
That's nothing against Elmore. It's nothing against him at all, but yes.
No, I mean, we got guys to replace him, but like Elmore is better on the sideline, to be perfectly honest. He's more like a coach.
I mean, he's a good cheerleader over there for sure. I mean, it was going to be nice to see if he could play a full season at that spot and be the main blocker there because the dude's an animal.
I don't think he's coming back, man.
Oh, I don't think so either. I mean, what do you mean next year?
Yeah, I mean, they were talking about medical redshirting him. I was like, I don't know, man. Like he's broken. Like
I mean, at this point, they need to put him together with Gorilla Glue and hope that it works out. I mean, he's had every single damn
Gorilla Glue and I'm calling it right now. So I was watching it and I watched it a bunch of times. I'm an orthopedic specialist. So
yeah, right? didn't you go to Duke or something like that?
I went to Duke for orthopedics. Right? No, MCL guaranteed.
Okay.
Yeah, and just the fact that he was not touched was even more
leg went
terrible.
Up. It was a plant.
Yeah, he literally just wasn't touched, and I'm gonna say MCL just because of the way he moved afterwards.
What do you think about Stefan? Because he was grabbing the back of his knee.
Meniscus?
That's probably. That's probably a meniscal tear, but
See, I feel if it was meniscus, he wouldn't be out for the season. Because nowadays meniscus.
That's true. But I had a buddy that played soccer that had a meniscus. Had been replaced by.
It depends on how bad the tear is, right? So
I guess so.
If you have a
his rolled back into his calf.
Yeah, if you have a lunate tear, you. But if you have just like a quarter tear, they can repair that, and you'll be back in 6 to 10 weeks.
Are you going to be the Cuse Militia official Cuse Militia doctor?
I mean, I could be.
There you go. I think we got one.
I could be. I'm qualified.
Well, I mean, look, he got. It was one of those.
I don't know if
one
Duke
way,
hands
his
out
body
real.
went the other way, right? Like,
I'm too biased.
What injury was it that Victor Cruz had? Was it the patella?
Oh yeah, patellar tear. Yeah. So that's rough though because
Patella's tough to come back from.
Yeah, it's a patellar tibial tendon, and you rip that and you're, dude, it's huge. That's a huge one.
I mean, it pretty much ended Victor Cruz's career in the NFL. So, I mean,
well, he tried to come back, but then he was effed. Anyways,
what else you got? Real quick, we got another minute.
What are we talking about? Oh, so the game overall, amazing.
What'd you think about Garrett Schrader?
Dude,
is it night and day?
Totally different player.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Totally different player. He was so much more accurate, and if we had like even those couple drops that the wide receivers had, dude, he was so much better. So much better.
I saw
and his running was the same. So that's even.
Yep.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and even running with a purpose, regardless. Yeah,
he's a problem.
He's a
His
problem.
feet are a problem.
He's a huge problem.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of it, dude. We can't give up. We can't discount the fact that Robert and I and Jason Beck. We can't do it. I mean, I thought that seeing it from the beginning. I mean, just seeing the play calling and seeing what these two guys came in and have changed with this offense, but then have not changed because they kept all the things that worked. It's amazing to me, and I thought it was eye opening. And you take those penalties away and those drops away.
Well,
I'm sorry.
That's what I'm going to be looking for. I think it's a different situation. Coach said in his press conference that they were being egged on by the defense. Whatever the defense was doing was drawing them off sides. And I guess it wasn't a legal move, but it's something that couldn't be proven and type thing. So
there was a couple of those penalties they probably could have like gone without or whatever. Like the refs could have
Oh, there was most of them, Michael. Though I saw before the whistle went. I'm like, oh my gosh, again. So
pre-snap.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have just swept some under the rug like Sean Tucker's face mask that didn't get called.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, his head.
That was atrocious. His whole head ripped back.
That was the first series of the game too, right?
Sideline judge, like how?
Yeah.
Yep.
How is
right
that
there.
even not getting called? That's crazy.
Yeah. But
I mean, especially
that's SU and the ACC, but
we're used to that shit.
I know that's so true.
Unfortunately, it takes a lot to get there, but I'm there.
Sean, you guys seeing maybe a 5-0 start? What do you think? I'm getting a little optimistic, but at the same time, I'm a little hesitant.
I'm hesitant myself. I'm going to try to check out Purdue this week. Do they have a game this week? I'm sure they do, right? They wouldn't have a bye this early. So
yeah, what are they 1-1 right now?
What's that?
Purdue did Purdue lose one?
They lost only to Penn State, so I mean, it was close.
State. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically,
Purdue's going to be a problem for sure.
Yeah, that's the one that I got kind of pegged as an L right now. I still have it pegged as an L. But I want to
be a close L.
But I want to watch them. I want to watch them this weekend if I can catch the game, if I'm able to, and just kind of get an eye on it. Not that I got some kind of magic eye that I can make extremely good analysis out of it, but just for myself to kind of know what they're working with. So.
Yeah, well, 4:00 on Saturday they play at home against the Indiana State Sycamores. So have fun.
Oh, jeez, some crow. That's not going to show me much.
That's their D1 AA.
Oh my God.
Well, that sucks, but I'll still put my eyes on it for a minute.
It's not going to tell you anything.
But,
oh my God.
To answer your question, though, I don't see a 5-0 right now, man. I just think I think we're on track. I think we're on track for a 4-1 heading into NC State after the bye, and I'm going to be happy with that. If that's
I wish they were playing here, man. Me and Joe could go to the game.
There you go.
Oh yeah, only one is Wake Forest down here. So
yeah, I'm going to that one.
I mean, if we're not bowl eligible, I'm not gonna lie to you. But
I think, dude, come on. I think by then we're gonna it's either gonna be a situation where we are.
Yeah, I think we'll be on the edge. So I'm looking forward. I mean, I'm looking at it like I'm going to go for it. But I am like an inch away from saying I'm driving up to go to the Purdue game.
So I'm going to the Notre Dame game.
An inch away, he says.
An inch.
So my sister works for the Dome. So she got me a couple tickets for the Syracuse Notre Dame game. So we're going to that.
Are you bragging?
I got like 6 of them.
He's bragging.
We're ready to go. I'm bragging.
No, look, Mike gets all the good tickets, bro.
Did you all know each other before the podcast, or how did this happen? I have to know now.
No.
You didn't.
No.
So
No,
I
this
just
was
started
from
listening.
the podcast. We met at Wake Forest. At a Wake Forest game.
So you met at a game, and he said, "Are you Joe from Cuse Militia?" Or you said, "Hey, I do a podcast."
No, I already knew that he was going to be there.
Oh,
He
okay,
hit me up.
I
and then
gotcha,
went to
I
his
gotcha.
tailgate. We had some
Oh.
drinks. We took some pictures. Everything was
gotcha.
good.
So,
while
Michael, you
were sitting
listened-
at home at Virginia Beach.
So you listened before, and then you said, "Hey, Joe, are you going?" And he said, "Yeah," and you guys met up. And that's when
That's
I
exactly
saw
what
the
happened.
picture. I saw the picture, and I'm like, "Oh, well, I'm not that short. I'm at least average."
Oh, damn. Look,
I remember that. That was a few years ago.
look, I'm taller than both y'all, so I'm staying
Joe's
out
so
of this.
tall.
He's not that tall.
Dude, I'm like 5'9". He's not.
Well, if you're 5'9", you're taller than me. I'm 5'8" on a good day if I have good posture.
Yeah, well,
If I
get some
stretch,
taller shoes, man.
if I stretch that day, I'm 5'8".
I was on my tippy toes.
I took a picture with Tyler, who's like what's Tyler, 6'5", 6'6"?
Something like that.
easily
Yeah.
6'5".
So I'm standing next to Tyler, and of course I'm like, well, I'm getting on my tippy toes. I mean, I'm going to be shorter than them anyway, but I'm going to try this. Well,
Well, if you weren't
my
wearing your
dumbass
water
posted
shoes.
my dumbass posted it to Twitter. I had no idea that whoever took the picture had my feet in it. I didn't pay any attention.
Oh, you wearing
and there I
high
was.
heels, bro?
Yeah. Well, there's advantages to being short. I don't have to duck for much. Things like that. So,
It's also true.
but hey,
You can always find clothes.
yeah, true,
Oh, dude, that's
True.
the problem.
true. Shoes, easy to find.
Shoes is the problem.
You know,
9.5, 10s. That's it. That's
14
they're
is
everywhere.
the problem.
Yeah. Joe, how
gotta
tall are
order-
you?
Special order your
Six?
shoes, you Bigfoot.
Are you 6'1"?
Yeah.
6'1".
I'm like 6'1", yeah.
Okay. All right. He's six. He's
should've
6.
been-
He's 6'1.5" is what it is.
Yeah.
If he stretches, he's 6'1".
Hater.
All
Well,
right.
listen, it was awesome to hear from Dom not in his mail truck.
I know.
You're not lying.
Sounded a whole lot better. He's practicing. He's gonna be coming out with his own podcast soon. So he's doing a
Oh, I know, I
recruiting
heard that.
podcast. So that means me and Joe don't have to do it anymore.
So
Right, John?
No, that's not
I can-
necessarily
I can-
true.
Hey, I can attest to the ECU crowd. All right. You know, I'm down here in Raleigh, and those guys are crazy. I mean, they're nuts. The ECU fan base they supplanted SU as the party school of the South.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
When was
yeah,
SU the party
100%.
school of the South?
No.
Well, it wasn't the South, but it was #1 party school in the Northeast
Oh,
or whatever
Yeah,
at one
yeah.
point.
He's saying ECU would be in the South. We'd be in the Northeast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, ECU is nuts, dude. ECU is nuts.
There's a lot of ECU
Pirates.
fans around here. Like I said, I love in the overtime, the accidental overtime. I love the logo. I love the boneyard. I think it's awesome. I love it. I mean, that's why I became a Raiders fan. It was the nostalgic icon of the emblem and the uniform and Bo Jackson that did it for me. You know, ECU's just
Sean just wants to be a pirate.
It's just
secretly.
cool. What did this? Michael enters the bathroom.
I did. How'd you know that?
the whole echo changed, bro.
The
We've done
whole
this
thing
long
changed. Yeah. Well, all right, Michael. We appreciate you. We're gonna let you take care of business. Okay.
Yeah, I gotta feed my daughter. You know, I was the one that was
Doing
giving
the bath?
my daughter a bath.
Oh, okay.
I was the bath
Told
one.
you.
All right.
Yep.
Told you.
All right.
Yeah, and Joe was 100% right. 3/4 of those things that you guys were talking about were definitely me.
You guys
So-
got to know the rules. You guys got to know the rules. Like you could be giving your
Hey,
kid
look,
a
he's
bath.
gotten better. He's learning.
Yeah, he's learning. He does need better
I'm getting there.
earbuds.
And I got better headphones.
You know what? You got headphones. Look, here's my suggestion. I meant to tell you this, dude. The best earbuds that I have ever had, and I don't have any right now because I lost one, and then I just never bought another pair. Are Raycons.
That's what I was talking about. last
Raycon
time we were-
earbuds
Yeah,
are
Raycons.
the best, dude. They're the best. No one knows you're on them when you know how you get a lot of background noise. Raycons don't do that. They fit nice. They're perfect. Anyways, that's my
Dude,
earbuds.
so I got AirPods Pro.
They suck. I have a pair too. I don't use them.
Dude, I can't hear anything. I don't know if it's
suck.
if they're new or whatever. I can't hear a
They're
thing.
so
I love 'em.
overrated. Yeah, yeah. Not a big fan. So
Well, I mean, for your podcast thing, it's a little bit different, but I don't know, man. I love them.
I'm talking about mowing the lawn. I'm talking about mowing the lawn.
My wife will try and talk to me. Can't hear a word she's saying. She's hitting me. You know,
if she's got to
get
hit
my
you,
attention.
if she's got to hit you, they're working.
Yeah, they're doing pretty well. Anyways, I'll let you guys go.
All right,
this
Michael.
is already long, I'm sure.
All right, yeah. We're killing time here. All right, we appreciate you. We will see you after the game. Feel free to come back.
All right, you got my prediction?
I did.
We gotta keep track.
51 to what? Oh, okay.
52-3.
Oh, and what did Dominic say? Does anybody remember?
He said 44 to
no,
7.
No,
Dominic,
he
he left.
I think he did 31 to 10.
I'll go back and look, but you had 34-21 against Louisville, so you would have won if you were an official host of the show. You'd be in the lead right now. But
that's right, I should.
But if you play all year, then maybe we can talk. Okay, maybe I'll keep track for you. All right.
Oh, please do.
All right.
Because I gotta something to brag on Joe about.
Hey,
there you go.
We'll get an Excel spreadsheet.
I love it. If you don't, I'll keep track of it.
Yeah, Joe's the spreadsheet guy. I'll get him on it.
I am.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
All right,
Appreciate
I'll
it.
talk to you later.
All right, bud. Bye.
All right, bye.
All right, dude. Bye.
So it's just that easy. We appreciate, and the more people we get, the shorter those segments have to be. But we appreciate everybody for hitting up the green room if you're listening or talking or typing. We appreciate it. So that is going to do it for us. And I think we got, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 or 5 days. We're going to find out what's going on with this, and we will be back on Sunday. Mm-hmm. And pretty excited about seeing Cuse on the road, and then kind of analyzing it from there, and hopefully going into Purdue healthy. And that's all I care about.
That's the hope.
Yeah. So that's going to be it for us. For Joe, I'm Sean. We're out.